yeah, baby. What is up, people? It is Friday night, which means we are live on the YouTube. Oh, yeah. Oh, my goodness, man. Oh, man, oh, man, oh, man. It's like I can't get off of Twitter for a day without coming back to a whole ass dumpster fire. Like, what is really going on? We'll definitely get into all that tonight. But I'm glad to see y'all faces in here. I appreciate y'all stopping by, hanging out with your boy for a little while tonight. And yes, these are the XM5s. Yes, I have the black and the silver. So yeah. But yeah, we're live Friday night. Let's go ahead and go to work. Woo! So current time, I got to watch today. Current time, 6:31 p.m. Central Standard Time, which means you are in the right place. You are on the right YouTube channel, baby. Yes. Now, for those of y'all who are new here, or for those of y'all who somehow catch the replay of this live stream, you're going to want to listen to this next part very, very carefully because it's very important for maybe your sanity and your neighbor's sanity. And yeah. Woo! So, for this next part, I'm going to need you to turn your volume down. Because if you don't turn your volume down, I will not be held liable for what your neighbors think about you listening to some loud dude on YouTube. That's on you, not on me. That's on you, not on me. Now that we got the disclaimer out of the way, I can go ahead and go to work and get into this because, oh my God, what bruh? I cannot believe the buffoonery is going on the internet. And so I can't believe it. So time to go to work. So this is your last warning. Turn your volume down. I will not say it again. All right. So here we go. Let's see where this live stream goes tonight. That'll be interesting. Woo! What's up, people? This your boy Viper, the man about tech, and we are live! Welcome to Friday Night Fight, baby! Woo! Woo! Oh, yeah! It is that day again! We are back! We are live on YouTube! Woo! All right! Before I get started with tonight's festivities, let me see who I got in the chat tonight. First on the list is Alex Jackson. What's up, dude? How you doing? We got my enforcer, Genosis, is in the cut. What's up, bro? How you doing? Cool Gamer is here. What's up, Cool Gamer? How you doing? What's going on with you? We got Jonathan Rash. What's up, Jonathan? How you doing? What's going on? Who else is in the building? We got Albert Cervantes 2 weeks in a row. What's up, bro? How you doing, man? What's going on? Oh, the Norwegian sensation, LVD is here. What's up, bro? How you doing? And that is it. Oh, short crowd tonight. Oh, I scared the tech nerds way. Good. They should be scared. They should be scared. They really should be scared. Oh, we got Pat Tech. What's up, Pat Tech? How you doing? What is going on, man? What's going on? So, oh my God, where the hell do I begin? Sweet Jesus. Hold on, y'all. You know, I understand that when you feel strongly about something, sometimes you want to let your voice be heard. I get it. Especially when you feel like you have a group of like-minded individuals that feel as strongly as you do, and you all connect, and you want to let all your voices be heard, and you want to scream into the heavens to make sure that the people, the masses hear you. I feel you. I get that. But every now and then, sometimes you have to take a step back and look at the bigger picture. And unfortunately, a lot of tech nerds don't have the ability or they don't care to take a step back and look at the bigger picture. Now, this is stuff that we've talked about in the past. I know my dude, John Prosser, especially has touched on this stuff in the past. But what the tech nerds need to realize is that when tech companies are making products, they're trying to sell as many of that product as humanly possible. And to do that, they have to appeal to as many people as humanly possible. So the way I see it, and I could be wrong about this, but the way I see it is that people that watch tech YouTube and tech YouTube creators, probably, if we're lucky, we make up about 5% of the actual market that these tech companies are trying to target. We're 5% of the market. The other 95% are the non-tech savvy individuals who don't know what a refresh rate is from a megapixel. They don't know, they don't care. So imagine my shock and surprise yesterday when I saw that 60 hertz was trending. It was trending, people. Now, you know, this is half part funny and half part embarrassing. How in the hell is 60 hertz trending on Twitter? 95% of the people don't even know what the hell you're talking about. When you say 60 hertz, they don't know, they don't care. But somehow, 60 hertz was trending on Twitter. And the reason it was trending on Twitter is because of the device that I have in my hand right here, which is the Google Pixel 6a. Not the 6, not the 6 Pro, not even the 7. The 6A, which is the budget device. The budget device. But this thing was trending on Twitter because of the display technology that Google chose to implement in this particular device, which is a budget device, which is more geared towards the 95% market share that I was alluding to in the intro of the live stream. So apparently the tech nerds were pissed off because a budget device that is $450 does not have a 120 hertz display. It has a 60 hertz display. And the tech nerds got in there, feels about it, and they decided to take their feelings to Twitter and moan and behave and do all the things that you do on Twitter. Bruh, no, fam, no. Nah, man, nah. This is embarrassing. It is embarrassing. People. Tech nerd. Listen to me very closely. This phone right here, it's not for you. It's not for you. Okay? There's no reason ever that 60 hertz should be trending on Twitter. Ever. This phone is not for you. This is for the 95% of people that don't know about tech, that are not tech savvy, and that's who Google's targeting with this particular device. It is not about you. The 95% of the market doesn't care about a 120 hertz display. They don't know what it is. If you put a 60 hertz phone next to a 120 hertz phone and told the average consumer, or asked the average consumer, the non-techie, could they tell the difference? They will probably not be able to tell you a difference. They would not know. They don't care. They don't care. This phone, for what it is perfectly fine at 60 hertz a second, or whatever it is. This is a budget device. It does not need to have 120 hertz. Its a target audience does not care about a 120 hertz display. If you want that display, then you go get a Pixel 6 Pro and be done with it, which is already on the market for all you tech nerds that want that buttery display. Grab a Pixel 6 Pro and be done with it. But the fact of the matter is, I don't understand why in the world that this was trending on Twitter because it has a 60 hertz display. Now, Janosin's been talking about stuttering and things like that. Yeah, and I haven't really noticed too much stuttering here. I mean, I've noticed a little bit, but nothing that should be trending on Twitter. But, I mean, I don't know, certain Android devices stutter more than others. I don't know. I haven't had issues with the Samsung. Sometimes I have had issues with Pixel stuttering. The Pixel 6 Pro, oddly enough, I did have some issues with the Pixel 6 Pro stuttering. Not really having issues with this thing stuttering. This thing is buttery smooth as far as I can tell. The animations are going in and out very smooth. I just got this device, so this is just my preliminary impression. But as far as I can tell, the display is 60 hertz and it's going very fine and it's good. But the tech nerd getting mad that the thing is 60 hertz. Dude, it's $449. It doesn't need a 120 hertz display. It was not meant to have a 120 hertz display. And this leads me to something that a few of my tech cohorts have talked about as it relates to tech Twitter and tech YouTube lately. And that's the over sensationalism of videos and topics and discussion and hot takes, the abundance of hot takes out there. I think some of y'all or some of us have forgot what we are supposed to be doing on tech YouTube and what we are there to do. Here's the reality, creators. The content that you put on YouTube is not about you and what you want and what you need. The content that you put on YouTube is supposed to be for your audience, what they want, what they need. Your opinions and your analysis and your objectives are supposed to cater to your audience. Your hot takes aren't helping anybody. They're not helping your audience. They're not helping the brand. They're just loud hot take. They're just loud noises that don't help anybody, and it makes you look silly. There have been far too many hot takes over the past few months on Twitter and tech YouTube, and it needs to calm down. I'm not saying that there's not a place for hot takes, okay? But when we are making tech videos and tech reviews, we are supposed to review the devices for what they can do for our viewers, our audience. That is the whole purpose of tech YouTube. That is why I became a tech reviewer, because I wanted to provide my analysis for the audience, give them actionable information that they can use to make their purchasing decision. My hot take does not help that. And I used to be guilty of the whole hot take thing. So I'm not exonerating myself. I used to be guilty of it back in the day. But I've since realized and grown up and realized that it doesn't help anybody. It does not help my audience. What I get on YouTube to do, when I put out a video, I want to use the product and give you my experience and try to do so in the most non-techiest ways as possible. Because again, most of the people that are looking at tech YouTube and different things like that, the market is not tech savvy. So I want to explain my tech videos in such a way that they can appeal to any and everybody. They can appeal to your mother, your grandmother, your young child, or whatever. That is the mass target audience. That is who we need to be thinking about when we make our videos. And the bulk of the population, again, they're not tech savvy. They don't know what 60 hertz refresh rate means. They don't know what a megapixel is. All they want to know is, does the battery last long? Does the camera work well? How durable is the phone? Do they need to add a case on it? Something like that. Those are the basic premises for what the average consumer wants to know about their tech product. Yeah, they want to know features and different things like that. But again, going into whole megapixels and 60 hertz, no, they don't care. They don't want to know that stuff. Okay? They don't know what it means. It doesn't matter. But you tech nerds, you get into your little field and you want to break down the megapixels and the hertz and the refresh rate like the average person cares. They don't care. That is a tech nerd thing. That is not an average consumer thing. Again, the bulk of the people watching your video are not tech nerds. Yes, you have some tech nerds watching, but the bulk of the people out there in the world are not tech savvy. So it is your job as a tech creator to make tech digestible for them and do that in a welcoming way so they want to come back to us on tech YouTube. But some of y'all are drawing people away. Y'all over here complaining about views, talking about tech views are down. Well, hell, I guess so with all of them hot takes out there. Damn! Where is the actionable videos? Where are the videos that provide quality to an audience? If all we got out there is hot takes and moo-foo-foo-foo, I guess views will be down. Shit! We are losing ourselves. We need to bring it back. Bring it back to the objectivity. Bring it back to constructive critique. Bring it back to the real life everyday user. And I know there are a few of you all out there that do real life everyday real in the world videos, and kudos to you. Y'all understand the assignment. But some of y'all with these damn hot takes, you're not helping nobody. You're not helping your viewer. You're not helping your audience. Come back to reality, please. Let's get back to the content that has objectivity, that has constructive criticism and feedback, that I or my family or whatever can use to make a purchasing decision. Your hot takes and your vitriol and your animosity towards a brand or product does not serve your audience. We as creators are here to serve our audience. We are not here to serve some crazy vendetta with a brand or product. You're not helping. Bring it back to what we used to do. Bring it back to the objective analysis of the product or service that you are making a video about. Please. My God. What is really going on? So, back to what I was saying about this device. This is a $450 device, which is not for the hardcore nerds. Why is it not covering my face? There we go. This is not for the hardcore techie. This device is for the everyday person who's coming up on a phone renewal. Maybe they have an upgrade available, or maybe they just want a new phone, or maybe their current phone is broken. Because there are a lot of people out there that won't buy a new phone unless their current phone is broken or unusable. This is who this phone is for. It is for those people. It is not for you tech nerds that buy a new phone every year. So why the hell is 60 Hertz trending on Twitter? Why? There is no way in hell ever that 60 Hertz should be trending on Twitter. It's embarrassing. Man. Unbelievable. So, for the little time I've been using this device, it's actually pretty good. I like it. My big problem with this device right now is that the damn fingerprint sensor does not work. I cannot unlock this with my finger at all. And I've done this 2 times or 3 times. I've even deleted my fingerprints and re-registered them, and they don't lock. They do that. Unless that's supposed to, maybe that's supposed to happen, but last time I checked, if I put my fingerprint in, it's supposed to unlock and go straight to the home screen. But I unlocked this damn thing and it goes into a damn number pad. What is that? I don't understand what that is. So yeah, the fingerprint sensor on the Pixel 6a, no. Other than that, it's a lovely device. It serves its purpose. It's the build quality is astounding. The camera is what it is. I don't know, but Google seems like Google kind of lost their way with the portrait mode, because the portrait mode is not nearly as good as it has been in years past. Samsung kind of blown right bottom in portrait mode status. Even the iPhone portrait mode is better, dude. But I don't know what's going on, Google. But yeah, that fingerprint sensor is still garbage. I don't understand it. I don't know, but it's garbage. All right. I see my man Trent is in the chat here. I don't know if he can still come on tonight, but I'm going to throw you the link just in case you can. If you can't, that's cool. I know you're busy, but you know where to find me. But yeah, that's basically what I wanted to say. I wanted to tell y'all to calm the hell down. And then I'm not going to get into deep with this other, but then we got people arguing with each other on Twitter about content. Bro, no. Why are we arguing about content and who does what content? I have said it before and I will say it again. We are not each other's competition. Okay. It's just not, that's not how we do things here. That's not our makeup. We are supposed to be supporting each other and helping each other the best we can. I know we're not always going to like each other. That's going to happen, but arguing over content and who does what is crazy. Like, everybody in the tech space has content or will do content that will overlap in some way. Tech is not that deep. Okay, there's always going to be some overlapping coverage and content and videos that we're doing. Why are we arguing about this? Like, it doesn't matter. You have your viewers, they have their viewers, and let the rest take care of itself. We don't need to be arguing about who's doing what content. It's silliness, especially in a public forum. We should not be doing that. I'm sorry. That does nothing but make us look foolish. That makes us all look bad, and we don't need that. So, I need y'all to support each other. I need all of us to support each other and just understand that, yes, we will have content that overlaps. Some of us will make the exact same videos, and that's okay. Because nobody's going to make a video how you make a video. The video that Viper makes will be drastically different from the video that Trent Tech makes. The video that Trenton makes will be drastically different from what El Jefe makes. Even if it's on the same product, it will be a drastically different video. So it doesn't matter. Because nobody can steal your unique individual perspective from you. Nobody can do that. Nobody. Yes, this is the second time I've been asked the question. Yes, these are the Sony XM5s. And yes, I have both pairs. I have them in black and I have them in white. Okay? I got both pairs. So yes, I got the Sony XM5s on deck on my head. Boom, what's up, man? How you doing, sir? Appreciate you being in the building. Boom. I'm trying to highlight you. There you go. Hopefully you're doing well. What's going on, man? What's going on? All right, Jonathan, seeing how people lose their mind today. It would not surprise me if you brought a Samsung Fold and complain it does not fold out to a flat screen TV. Heck, absolutely, bro. Nobody will be the tech preacher. Nobody will be the tech preacher at all. Speaking of tech preacher, easy. If you got a few minutes, you want to come in and talk to your boy tonight, let me know, man. We'll get you in here. What's up, Renee? Oh, let's give a big clap to Renee, man. I still can't believe what happened with Renee, man. Shout out to Renee Ritchie, our very own new YouTube creator liaison. Oh my God. I cannot believe I did not see that coming. I did not see Renee being the creator liaison. I didn't even know he was considering it. I didn't see it coming, but in my opinion, YouTube could not have picked a better person to be the new creator liaison. Renee, I know you'll do us proud, man. And no, I don't expect you to work magic, but I know some of the trolls will, so you know what to do about the trolls, Renee. You already know how to handle that. But but Renee, man, I cannot believe it, man. Congratulations to you again, Renee. And I hope you do great things, man. I expect big things from you in your new role, my dude. Hopefully it doesn't impact your tech content too much, but I know you'll probably have to take a little step back from that because you're going to be very busy with the YouTube liaison job. So I don't expect you to be able to pump out your tech videos at the rate that you were. But hey, sometimes you got to go do things that are bigger than yourself. Kind of the same thing that happened to me, man. I've kind of stopped making the tech videos at the rate I was making them because I have my stuff to do with vidIQ. So I understand, man. But shout out to Renee, man. Shout out to Renee. Absolutely, man. We are all super proud of Renee. Genosis, I know, right? I know, right? I know. The best decision that YouTube has made probably in the last 5 years. they hired Renee. That's the best decision they made. Shout out to Renee, yo. That's oh man. All right, Alan says I definitely think the criticism of the Pixel 6a was definitely over the top. Yeah. 60 Hertz trending on Twitter is ridiculous. It's embarrassing. I'm embarrassed to be a tech creator with that stuff trending. That's ridiculous. Like we are looking like complete fools because the tech nerds can't understand that the phone is not for them. If it has a display that you feel like it's inferior, then it's not for you. Go get a different phone. Why is it that people can't understand that things are not always for them? You know what? I like big iPhones. I like big phones in general. But that does not mean I'm going to go crap on the iPhone 13 mini. I actually had the iPhone 12 mini for a period of time, and I enjoyed using it. I can never use it full time because it's too small. But for the time that I did have it in my possession and I used it, I love the 12 mini. But it's just not for me. It's not a full-time phone for me. But for whatever reason, a lot of people just can't understand that everything is not for them, and they get all in their feelings about it. It's okay. Everything's not for you. But I asked my man Trent to come in here tonight, and he is in a building. What's up, man? You outside? Look at you.
Yeah, I had to get out the house, man. I've been working too much.
All right, what's going on? Are you okay? What's wrong with your voice? You sound a little deeper than usual. What's going on, man?
Well, remember I told you guys a couple of days like my voice was gone or whatever. So
man,
I'm getting over the whatever I got from TJ. So
man. Well, hopefully you feel better, man.
Yep.
Appreciate you. So Techful thinking, what is a liaison? So basically, the YouTube creator liaison is just what it is. It's like a go-between between the YouTube creators and the YouTube top brass executives. So if creators have concerns or whatever about the platform and how it's working in the rules, they can address those with Renee, and Renee will take that back to the YouTube bosses, and they'll talk about that and do all that stuff. But that's basically what a creator liaison is. He liaisons between us and the YouTube brass. So that's basically what's going on. Like I said, YouTube could not have picked a better person. Trent, how long have you been listening to me tonight? How long have you been here?
I just got here.
Okay, so I think you missed most of my rant then.
I caught like the last 30 seconds.
Okay. I talked about how there have been a lot of hot takes on Twitter and on Tech YouTube over the past few months, and I feel like that we're not doing our audience a service with all the hot takes. Basically, that was the premise of what I'm saying.
I mean, we're doing a service to the audience that wants hot takes. I mean, sure, but everybody else is probably like, what is this?
Yeah, but I would argue that the audience that wants hot takes is probably vastly smaller than the audience that wants actionable information.
Yeah, definitely.
What's up, Joe? How you doing, man? Good to see you. Your boy here. I've been away for a little while, but for the last couple of Fridays, I've been back in the building, and I will be back for the foreseeable future until Ethan's I go away in September. But yeah, we are here. We are live. But yeah, I just don't understand like how we got into hot take land, man. It's like hot takes all the time, stuff that just doesn't help anybody. Creators just spewing craziness just because they're mad about a particular product or feature that's not the way they like it. And I'm just like, no, that's not about what we want. It's about what our audience wants and needs. That's what it's about. When we make content, Trent, as you know, it is about the audience desires. What is good for them, what will help them, and then we need to let them know what might not be good for them and what might not help them, and then that's how we get down.
Oh yeah. But just like, everything else in life, there's always a catch-22 to stuff, because to a certain degree you say, okay, yeah, play the game, algorithm and all that stuff. And then if people start making, content and making titles that get people to click, then that reinforces the point of, okay, I have to make this content because nobody else will watch, or, I won't get the same performance. So, some people fall into that trap, and it's not a complete knock on creators, because everybody has to do something different. However, I just can't be the one to say, like, okay, if I made a YouTube video and I made a title, and I know it's a questionable title, or I know it's a title that I'm just trying to get you to click, and then you watch the video or whatever. If I say that's what I have to do for my channel, then I'm not going to apologize for it later. Like, oh, what was me? This is what I have to do. It's like, no, you did it. You reap the benefits. Just roll with it. Like someone says, hey, it's clickbait. All right. Yeah. It's clickbait. That's what I got to do. So my bad. If you want to tune in for it, cool. If not, I understand. But people get like so defensive about stuff that they know that they're doing, which I think hilarious.
I think there's a difference between what you're talking about, clickbaiting, and then what just some crazy all over the top hot take that some creators be doing. But we have another guest, you all. We got my man, the tech preacher, is in the building. What's up, Easy? How you doing, man?
What's going on? What's happening with you?
The one time you're not working on a video, I can't believe it. What's up, my dude?
Hold up, I am working on a video.
He stopped working. On the video to come on.
Well, why? Because I represent the tech community, and everything that's going on in the past 72 hours is kind of, disgraceful. So, I take a little time out of, what I'm doing in my studio every day to try to, give my opinion about some of this stuff. I think it's ridiculous, right? But I'm just saying, I'm about ready to put on the suit and tie and say Paul Bearers to the tech community right now. You know what I'm saying? I mean, this is, I'm just, it's weird.
All right, so let me hear you. What are your thoughts about what's happened in the last 72 hours? Because from where I'm sitting, it's kind of crazy, man. What you got to say about this, Easy?
Well, okay, so you got a couple of things going on. First of all, from the leaks and rumors and everything about this device that we've been knowing for about 3 months or 6 months, we knew that the device was going to have a 60 hertz display. We knew that it's going to be a Pixel 6 that's watered down. We knew this already. So it wasn't like we didn't know this. Also, the price point versus what the intended audience for this device. It's not for the person that wants the best of the best, as far as, the high-end processor with the, the high-end resolution display, the 120 hertz display, the best cameras on the planet. This is not the device that people, that those type of people want. This device is made for the person that can walk into a Best Buy, that need a phone, that say, hey, listen, this phone here, you go get a $50 gift card with Best Buy, grab this phone for, 3 and some change and roll out. That's what this phone is for. I mean, I don't see the problem. I'm confused because I talked about it on my podcast yesterday and I was trying to be devil's advocate. Okay, so here's the thing. If you I made a video about this. Listen, the difference between the Pixel 6a and the Pixel 6 price, not talking about MSRP, I'm talking about what you can get right now at maybe Amazon or something like that. If you want the power, get the Pixel 6 because it's about the same price point. If you go into the used market, the Pixel 6 is the one to get if you get into the used market, if you're going to spend almost $500 for a device, right? And it is true that in the mid-range sector, between the $500 price point, they do have a lot of offering. So if you are concerned about the 60 hertz display, I promise you, I got over 200 phones. I got a lot of phones that got 90 hertz, 120, 60. And you know what? One of my main drivers is the LG V60. 60 hertz display, one of the best phones on the planet. I take this phone over the Galaxy S22 Ultra.
Wow.
And it's a 60 hertz display. I would take the LG V60, and I talk about it in a lot of my videos, over the Galaxy S22 Ultra. It got pen support. It has dual screen support. It has a headphone jack with a quad DAC. Beautiful displays. Don't care if it's 60 hertz. It's beautiful. I mean, absolutely gorgeous displays. It's fast enough to play every game in the App Store. I have desktop mode. I have everything. Dual speakers that's louder than the Galaxy S23 Ultra. I mean, I could go on and on about some of the things that the V60 has. That's a 2-year-old device that fits all my needs. Just great.
Yeah, I think you mentioned
display.
You made some great points, man. Like you made a lot of points that I made earlier about how this particular phone, this Pixel 6a, is for a select group of people, not like it's for the mass market, it's for the public, it's for the non-tech people, the people that don't care about the 120 hertz display or the best camera in the world. This phone is for the people that need a new phone. Maybe their upgrade is here, or they broke their old phone and they need a replacement. This is who that phone is for.
If you got a Pixel 4a and you skip the Pixel 5a,
right.
Well, a Pixel 6a is your upgrade.
There you go.
If you're on the Samsung ecosystem and you're on the A devices and you got the A23 or the A22 and you want to, upgrade, if you're coming from an A20 or something like that, from an A53 or whatever, if you're on the A lineup, then these are upgrades for those folks. Listen, man, I don't understand. Listen, it's a difference between tech enthusiasts and YouTubers and fake and phony, because I see that you can't listen, man. I look at it like this, and y'all know I come straight and direct. I say this like this. It's a difference. I don't know if I could cuss, but it's a difference between shit and sugar. And in the tech space, you got people that say they're techies, but they're really not techies. And you have the tech enthusiasts that's loyal to certain brands that will call out other brands when they don't even have their brands in their hand or don't even review phones or whatever, product, whatever. But Listen, man, it's all good if you're loyal to Apple, Samsung, but don't knock the other brands if you haven't tried it.
I agree. Definitely. Trenton, didn't you say recently that you were actually thought about maybe stop making tech videos altogether because you were tired of all the stuff that was going on?
No. I would still make tech videos. I didn't want to loop myself in with the word tech YouTuber. You could just say I'm somebody that talks about tech, but like to be a tech YouTuber has like a certain expectation with it. People want to see sweeping B-roll. People want to watch stuff in 4K, 6K, 8K. People want you to, I don't know, like make the most beautiful video on earth. But I'm just at the point where I just tell it to people straightforward. I don't care, like, whatever. I'm just kind of sick of like how it's almost like media at this point. You're either putting out videos that are all, beautiful and cute and everything. You say like, 4 things about the phone and you never use it again. Or the videos you put out, it's like, oh, negative. Here's some good things, negative. Don't buy it. And some of the videos you look up, it's like, all right, I go watch a video about, all right, don't buy the 6A. Why shouldn't I buy the 6A? Oh, well, the The Samsung S21 exists. The Samsung S21 FE. You should go ahead and get that. Go back and then watch that creator or watch that person cover that phone. Then you go watch their video about an S21 FE or S21 phone itself, and they're shitting on that phone, talking about you should buy something else. And I'm like, yo, it's lit. It's nothing's gonna satisfy you, okay?
You know,
Unless it's a top of the line flagship.
yeah,
And then what's crazy is that so I got mine, it's charging up, I got a case on it or whatever. This is supposed to be in the budget category, and people are like totally misconstruing budget because they're comparing this to phones that are made in China that are not even fucking sold in the US. You can't get a Xiaomi in the US unless you order outside of it. And go down the street. I challenge anybody that says Xiaomi to me. Go down the street, ask 100 people what Xiaomi is. If 10 of them can tell you what it is without Googling it, I will give you $100. Like, no, that's not the answer. It's clearly not. This phone, just for people who may be new to like the world, this is a base model phone. That means it's the entry level model. Where on earth can you go get an entry level anything and have it be the best? And what business makes a phone that's entry level that pretty much hangs with the top one in every single category? Almost none. Apple doesn't do it. And I made the same comparison online. People were talking about, oh, we should have 120 hertz on the Pixel A. No, that would be stupid. That'd be like going and taking an iPhone mini, putting 120 hertz on it while you sell the iPhone 13, which costs more, and Apple wants to sell that one anyway. Apple's not going to do that shit. Samsung's not going to fucking do that shit. Or if Samsung does give you an A series phone with 120 hertz, they're not going to give you the latest Snapdragon 8th gen processor, put it in there and give it to you for $394. No. You're smoking. Like, no. And just because Xiaomi does it, just because they do it, okay, Xiaomi has all these specs, but then what do we hear about it after that? Oh, well, this compatibility issue, this is that. Well, you can't get it. Well, how do you get one repaired? It might take 2 weeks. It might take 3 weeks. You can't go down the street and get one. So if you're in the UK, if you're in another country, I understand it because that's readily available to you guys. But just like we're not going to jump down your throat about something that y'all can't get, don't jump down our throat about something that we can't get. Like if you can walk down the street and get a Xiaomi, cool, but no one in the US can do that at all.
But I think here's the point, though. I believe we need more tech YouTubers. I'm going to tell you why. It's because we need the tech community to keep it straight, to keep it real. See, because the more people that keeps it real, when you make your videos, you keep it real. And we have you know, content creators that keeps it real, right? Not as far as, you know, making it pretty. Listen, I got $100,000 worth of equipment. I'm going to make my videos pretty. But at the end of the day, even though I might make my videos pretty with the pretty B-rolls, because I got 5 sliders, so I got to use them. So that's the thing. You know, so the equipment that I have, I want to utilize them. And that's one of the reasons why, and listen, this shit look good. I ain't gonna lie to you. But I always keep it real to my community, keep it real no matter what, because at the end of the day, I represent the people. I don't represent the company. And I think that's the bottom line statement is that a lot of content creators got to look themselves in the mirror and say, who do you represent? Do you represent your audience or you represent yourself? Now, listen, you could do clickbait and make money all day long. You can lie and cheat and do everything else. At the end of the day, if you transparent with transparent with your community, it's all good. I don't have no problem with people cheating. You know why? As long as they transparent with their community. Say, listen, you know, I got, you know, paid for this X, Y, and Z, this, that, I'm just going to talk about it, you know, this, that, and other. Of course, they're not going to say that, but the community and the viewer should know the difference between shit and sugar. And that's the whole point. I think it's up to us to educate. It's tech YouTubers like us. We have to educate our viewers. And I understand it's hard for us because we down in the dumps scrapping for views, right? So, people thought processes, okay, how could I get the views? Right. And so instead of being truthful to yourself and truthful to your community, the strategy change of, okay, I have to, do something to get the eyeballs. I mean, that's some of the things I believe that a lot of content creators do. They sell their souls because views equals money and, product reviews, sponsorships and stuff. When you got money involved, you always gonna have somebody go cheat. And I think, Trent, you need to stay in the tech YouTube community. It's because we need that voice. We need the voice of, guys like us that don't give up. Don't give up because I don't want to be in tech community because it's a mess and I don't want to represent what it brings to the table. But you know what? We have to break that mold. We have to break that mold. We have to call companies out for the BS that they do. We have to break that mold. We have to be the ones to tell our community the realness. And I can't do it by myself. So I need somebody to help because I ain't giving up. I ain't never giving up. And so, and again, if you work for the people, it's all about the people, baby. I ain't worried about no company. Samsung, Apple, Google, all them. It's all about the people. And that's the bottom line.
I'm more of a middleman. Like, my thing is, I'll say this, like, if a company does something, if it really ain't affecting nobody, yes, it's something that you should know. Yes, it could be an issue, but it's not going to be the title of a video. Like, where I'm not going to hyper focus on one minuscule, minute thing that 1% of 1% of the world is even going to experience, and then show that to everybody. Like, see, this is why they're screwing you over. Like, no, that's, and I look at stuff from the company side, because I said this a couple of times in the years past. It's like, I would hate to work for some of these companies and try and figure out what people want, because even when you listen to people, sometimes you end up listening to the wrong people and they lead you astray. Here's a perfect example. So if we go back in time and we go back to, let's say, around like the 4A and the 5A. The 4A, it was dirt cheap. I think the 4A was $350 and, just had enough to get you going and all that or whatever. It's okay, but it doesn't have this, it doesn't have that. It's an entry-level phone. Move on to the 5A. You get a 90 hertz refresh rate, right? 90 hertz. So it's a faster refresh rate. Oh, but 90 hertz isn't 120 hertz. Either, and I remember people said this shit. I'm not fucking with you. People said this. We don't want a half measure. Either give us 60 hertz or give us 120 hertz. Nobody wants 90 hertz. Google's the only one doing 90 hertz. Everybody else is doing. I'm like, wait, so you went from 60 hertz on a budget phone to 90 hertz. You're still bitching and moaning. Oh my God. So whatever. And then they came out with the Pixel 6 at $599 with the specs, the Tensor chip and all that stuff. And cool. They had the 6 Pro. Even I had some issues with it, but I wasn't looking at it like, yo, don't ever buy this phone. It's just not the phone for me. I can't recommend it because of my own personal experience. The other criticism that we had for the longest time was, oh, the 5A, the 4A, they don't have the top of the line Snapdragon. They got a Snapdragon 700 this. I want a Snapdragon 800 that. Give me the top of the line processor. Okay, here's the 6A. They give you the Tensor that is in the 6, that is in the 6 Pro.
Yeah.
Got a 6A with a Tensor in it.
Yeah.
Oh, well, the Tensor ain't shit anyway. You literally just asked for the flagship one and they gave it to you. Like, the one criticism that I can look at and I can agree with people is the wireless charging thing. I don't know how much it costs to put wireless charging in the phone, but we're kind of getting to that point to where even budget phones should have wireless charging in there. So I'm like, okay, cool. Is it a deal breaker? No, but I understand where some people have some critiques. But you literally have a track history of where companies are starting to listen to people like, hey, here's another critique. The 3A, the 3A, the 4A, and the 5A all got slammed for looking like basic old devices because they still had fingerprint sensors on the back. They didn't look like flagship phones. This 6A, when I take this case off, it looks like a Google flagship.
Yep.
It looks like one. Is anybody happy about that? No. It only has 60 hertz. Oh my God, I'm gonna die. Like, look, it's a budget phone. There are going to be trade-offs.
Yep.
There's no perfect budget phone. Even the Xiaomi's and the Oppos and the Poco ones, yeah, they might have the specs, but they all lack somewhere. But oh my God, the reaction, and that's this little ass phone, okay, this little 6.1 inch phone that's literally meant just to be something for somebody to pick up until the Pixel 7 and the 7 Pro come out. Jesus Christ.
Let me tell you how overblown this whole 60 hertz argument is. Up until last year, every iPhone that came out had 60 hertz, and very few people complained. Last year, the iPhone 13 Pro were the first iPhone that had something higher than 60 hertz on them. But iPhones have been outselling every other phone for eons, which goes back to the argument I made earlier. Apple knows who their audience is, and they know that their audience, by and large, does not give a monkey's nipple about a 120 hertz refresh rate. That is a tech nerd thing. The mass public does not care about that. They care about the camera. They care about the battery. They care about the longevity of the phone. They do not care about the refresh rate. It is a tech nerd thing. And when these companies are making these devices to sell as many as possible, they are not thinking about us in the minority. They are thinking about the majority. So if something is not for you, don't worry about it. Go get something else in it for you.
But you know what's so funny about when we talk about refresh rates? I actually made detailed videos about refresh rates. You know, a lot of apps in the App Store, like your banking app, is not going to run at 120 hertz. Some games won't run at 120 hertz.
Right.
Most of the apps won't run at 120 hertz.
Mm-hmm.
So even though you hear this in your mind that I got 120 hertz phones, right? In your hand, you say, I got 120 hertz, but the app that you're using is a 60 hertz app. It's just running at 60 hertz. So what is it? So how could it be different when that phone that you have that has 120 hertz and you playing that game like Angry Birds or something like that, and it's running at 60 hertz? How is it different from a device that came out at 60 hertz? And you know, Samsung do this too. Out of the box, it's at 1080p, 60 hertz, right? And name anybody that besides tech enthusiasts will go into the resolution, change it to 120 hertz, go to 1440p. Nobody, nothing but tech enthusiasts. Yep. Average consumer will have that Galaxy S device at 60 hertz at 1080p.
1080p. Because
they buy it out the box that way.
Right, because
Samsung ships the phone in 1080p. They don't even ship it at that full
1080p.
Yep. They don't even ship it at Quad HD. And a lot of people don't care. They don't even know the difference. They don't even know the difference. They don't care.
It'd be at 1080p 60 hertz out of the box.
Out of the box.
You will get dragged. You will get dragged by somebody on the internet because you bought a phone with your own money and you decided, you know what, I'll run it in 1080p. What? How dare you? That's a waste of money. You might as well. But I wanted this phone. Like, who cares what I run it at? I can run it at 1440p. I could run it at 1080p. I could run it at 720p. How does that affect you? Like, a lot of people are projecting what they want on other people, and it doesn't matter at all. Like,
well, you got a lot of people that like that. I mean, look, I see a lot of this happens on Twitter almost every day.
Every day.
People know how to stir up the pot, controversy, right? They'll come up with something very controversial, right? And they'll post it on Twitter. And there you go. People get attracted to that. They're all upset. They're pissed off, fussing and cussing each other out in the comments and all that. All because of one person say, hey, you know what? I just want to have some controversy today. So they'll put it on Twitter and say, hey, such and such and such. And everybody in the comments, I like iPhone. Oh, I like Galaxy. Oh, I like iPhone. Oh, I like Galaxy. And I've been seeing this for years. Is it going to change? No. But I think we as content creators have to be committed to our people. Now, you know, you post a video, you say, listen, everybody always say, easy. How could you have the Galaxy Z Fold 1, the Galaxy Z Fold 2, the Galaxy Z Fold 3, listen, I have all the Samsung devices. I got 216 phones, right? But I pull out a V60 and tell everybody that's my daily driver. And they're like, oh my God, wow. How is that phone your daily driver? How? Because it's good for me. It's good for me. And
here's the other thing I love. People will recommend, like, okay, hey, I think the 6A is a good phone. Well, you can get such and such phone, and it's so much better than 6A. Okay, it has a shitty camera. Well, you could just download Gcam and run this installer.
I hate you.
So you're telling me the software for this camera, you're going to borrow from this to put on your phone to say that your phone is better? Okay.
No.
Okay.
Yo, Mim. Actually, Mim, I don't think many people will even notice or care, to be honest.
Yeah, they ain't gonna notice it.
They don't, and they wouldn't notice, Mim. We would notice because we're tech nerds. But the average person, the consumer, they would not notice if the phone got dropped.
It would make the people with a voice on Twitter upset.
Yeah.
Because, and this is the thing I go back to, is like, there's always two sides. I remember being one of, I don't know, a lot of people who were like, keep the headphone jack on the phone. It's good to have a headphone jack. It's not hurting anyone. Okay, it doesn't make your experience worse. If anything, it gives you more options. And everybody and their mom was just like, well, no one uses it anymore. It's an antiquated technology. It's going away. Nobody cares about it. The mass market doesn't. Okay, cool, fine. If you want to use what the mass market does, I will accept that. When I come to you and I say the mass market doesn't give a fuck about 60 hertz, 120 hertz, 90 hertz, 144 hertz, they don't give a shit. Oh, well, you know, you're just bending over for Google, man. You're just a fucking. I'm like,
it's always catch-22 to everything, right? It's always a catch-22 to everything.
Even when you use people's same logic and standards, you know, and so I got into a conversation. This was behind closed doors with somebody, whatever. They're like, yeah, but this, nothing phone, but this. I'm like, yeah. So what about that nothing phone and that IP like 57 water rating? They're like, what? I'm like, well, it says IP67. I'm cool with, getting it splashed. I don't know about the nothing phone. Man, you gonna pick out that one thing? Motherfucker, you gonna pick out that one thing? I picked out one thing because you picked out one thing. Like, come on now. Like, I'm not saying that one is better than the other. I'm just saying that there's trade-offs, okay? If you want a nothing phone, go get a nothing phone and be happy. But don't go fuck with people who want a Pixel and be like, oh, you're missing out on everything else when you got drawbacks yourself. It's like sitting there trying to call flaws out on somebody when you got flaws of your own. Like,
I think when we review product, right, you have to keep it real. You talk about the good points and the bad points, right? It's a good, the bad, the ugly. Not everything is rosy with every device. It don't matter if it's it don't matter if it's a phone, tablet, computer, whatever. You're gonna have pros and cons with everything. And when we call out the good parts, right, and we call out the opportunities, I think that's a fair and balanced review, right? I mean, this is what we do here. And I see Mims talked about that. I think for what we do, we talk about the phone, right? We talk about the good qualities and the opportunities. That's it. That's what it's all about. So the viewer could know that, hey, listen, this phone is good at X, Y, Z per his opinion, is good at X, Y, and Z, but it's not so great in X, Y, and Z per his opinion. See, that's the whole thing. I think people believe that when somebody say something, it's in stone, like it's in the Bible or something, right? It's got to be code or something, right? It's our opinion. We using the device. We develop an opinion based off of our use case scenario, right? So our use case scenario is based off of, okay, I'm using the device, and I know a lot of people was talking about the Sony One Mark IV about the heating issue. Well, the heating issue is a real thing. A lot of people talk about it. It's one of the things. It's not an opinion. Some people have been showing facts of how they get to turn it off and stuff like that. Well, we need to know that as consumers need to know that, viewers need to know that, so they won't spend $1,700 on a phone and go outside for 5 minutes to take a picture and the phone cuts off on them. And the company needs to know this. And this is why we critique product, so the company can fix it. Right, I've been going back and forth with a company for 7 months. Right, I've been documenting this on my YouTube channel. Finally, after 7 months going back and forth with this company in multiple videos, they fixed it. But if I would have gave up on it, I gave up on my community. If I would have gave up on this product, I gave up on my viewers, and that I was determined not to give up on my viewers. So I fought this company for 7 months to get it fixed, and they fixed it.
So, man, let me address this real quick. So I think you have to take it on a situational basis. So we're talking about the Pixel 6a. This is a budget device. It's $449. You have the flagship Google SoC on it. You have the same camera from the Pixel 6 and 6 Pro in it. You just don't have the display quality. So for the price that Google is charging for this particular device and the competition around it, a 120 Hz display doesn't make sense, and it's not that relevant because you're not going to find many devices in the price range with a 120 Hz display. You're just not. Like Easy said, you got to review the product for what it is and what it can do for your audience and what are their needs and what they want and what they don't need, and review the object or the product relative to the competition. This is probably one of the best, if not the best, budget phone right now, given everything that it has, even though it does not have a 120 Hz refresh rate, because it has everything else that you will want. Even the build quality of this thing is like ridiculous. For $449, the build quality is A1, bro. So I mean, you just gotta take it for what it is. Now if you're reviewing something like the Pixel 6, the Pixel 7 or 7 Pro, and that doesn't have a 120 Hz refresh rate, then yeah, by all means, go in, because those phones are probably gonna be higher priced. And then you're talking about putting them in the category with the Galaxy S22, iPhone 14, and those phones are gonna have 120 Hz refresh rate. So if the 7 and 7 Pro, the Pixel 7 and 7 Pro did not have that refresh rate, then yes, you could definitely go in. But for this 6A and what it is and where it's sitting at, it's just not necessary. And that's not what Google is trying to do with that device anyway, in my opinion.
I can't understand why I don't even understand why this is even a discussion. I don't understand why this is even trending. We knew everything about the device 6 months ago. We knew. I don't even freaking know why that this. Unless Google is loving this. Google got to be saying this must be pure marketing for them, because I can't understand why we picking this. I can't understand. Yes, I can't understand why we even talking. I don't understand why this is a problem. I made a video about it myself, me and the evil twin, right? And we talked about it. And that was it. Like, I didn't think it was going to be this serious. This whole thing caught me off guard. Like, this was a flagship event that the Pixel 6a was going to do something that's going to spectacular us, because Google has already given us the specs. We heard every spec on the planet 6 months ago about this device. We knew that this device was going to have a 60 Hz display. We knew everything about this device. I don't get it.
So we have to have a brand rep in the audience there, and he says that brands make a different product for different audiences and price points, and
exactly. And that's the other thing I was trying to tell people online. I'm like, so all this stuff that people are throwing out there, We want this, we want that, should have this, should have that. Okay, go work for a company and go put that stuff out. A couple of things are going to happen. One, you're going to make a phone that has all this stuff in it and you're going to sell it for too low. And then you're not going to be able to make enough profit on it or whatnot, because that's what happens when you try and overcompensate for stuff. Like, same thing happened to OnePlus. They literally took all the flagship stuff or whatever, because people were like, oh, well, Samsung only makes this phone for $308 and then they sell it for $900. And then OnePlus is like, oh, well, we'll do the same thing. We'll make it for $308, but we'll sell it for like $500 or whatever, right? So they lose out on that profit. They can't market as much. They can't do as much stuff as the other companies can, because they're trying to, give you a product that's real cheap. Well, if you do that long enough, you don't make enough money, then it doesn't work. And eventually you get to the point to where you have to either raise your prices anyway, because you gave this product for so cheap for so long with all this stuff on top of it. And then people get pissed off because just like, oh, well, your flagship used to be cheap, but now you're raising the price. And you're like, well, I gave you what you wanted at the beginning, but I guess, that wasn't good enough. Or you get to the point where, and this is literally, this happens every single year. If Google would have took the 6A and made it as good as the Pixel 6 or better, then people will be like, well, why does the Pixel 6 exist? And then next year when the 7A comes out, since they made the 6A so good, it's a boring upgrade. They didn't do anything different. Why even buy this? All they did was every time you start to give people everything that they want more next year. And you run into this cycle of you'll run out of steam. Like, the more you try and give somebody, the more they're just not going to be satisfied with it. There's always going to be some sort of issue either end.
But I could tell you this, how when we talk about good quality versus mid-tier versus, budget. I mean, listen, I own businesses, right? So in my store, I have a top of the line product, right? That's going to cost you a lot. Then I have a product that right in the middle. It's the same product, well, different name, but the same flavor, the same taste or whatever. But this don't cost as much as the top line product. Then I have my brand that I repackage, cheap, right? So you, in every situation, you got, if you go to the grocery store, you got Kellogg's, right? Then you got the stuff that's supposed to be like Kellogg's, but it's cheaper than Kellogg's. Then you got the lower the bottom, and they just put it in a plastic bag and they just put a wrapper on it. It costs, $5 cheaper than the Kellogg's. So I mean, that's the same concept here, right? I mean, like a TV. If you get the Q70, Samsung Q70, or you get the cheaper, TV. If you get the QLEDs or LEDs and all that stuff, it all depends on what your pocketbook wants. I mean, if you want to spend $10,000 on a 60-inch TV by Samsung, they got a bunch of them. But if you want to spend $300 on a Samsung TV, they got a bunch of them too. Is the quality different? Of course the quality different. The $10,000 TV go look better. But can you get by with the $300 TV? Of course you can. Would it look better than the $10,000 TV? Of course not. And it's not made to be. The same thing with phones. I mean, the flagship is the 6 and 6 Pro. Well, the 6 Pro, right? And the flagship will be the higher product. I mean, Samsung is not selling $1,700 phones for nothing. Listen, we critique everything. I critique everything, right? But for a device with inflation, now listen, man, we got chip shortages and inflation got a whole lot to do with this price now. All right, because listen, if they would have sold this device 5 years ago, it would probably be $229 or $299. But if you look at times we are in right now, I mean, what's cheap out there? Ain't nothing cheap out there right now. I mean, shit, if you go to the grocery store, a pack of chicken go cost you $15. That same pack of chicken 6 months ago cost you $7. So what's the difference between that?
All about
I mean, listen, I'm gonna tell you, I own businesses. I'm taking 40% increases on my product. I mean, I don't understand. What I'll say. So, okay, what do we want with the 6 Pro? What do we want? That's so that ought to be the question. Okay, 60 hertz display. All right, cool. Spend $50 to get the 6. I mean, if you want 90 hertz display, okay, spend $50 and go get a Pixel 6. I don't see the problem. I could buy a Pixel 6 right now for like $460, $470. I mean, you can get a Pixel right now for like $450. What's the problem?
But even then, like I said, we've gotten to this point in tech where it's just like there's no like I want to hear somebody say I'm satisfied with this phone. Everything could be better. Everything can always be better. But I miss where people are like, you know what, this is a good phone. I'm cool with it. We could change some stuff, but it's an all right phone. Instead of these whole full ass dedications to how wrong people are being done by with these phones. I'm like, all right, let's take Samsung. I say Samsung because it's the one I can relate to the most as far as in the US. Because I know that whole Exynos thing is like kind of an issue in other countries. But in the US, when it comes to phones that are available for you to get, Samsung literally throws everything at a phone almost as far as what you can get in the US. And even then, if you take a company like Asus that makes their gaming phones, they throw every fucking thing in a phone. Everything. 144 hertz display, 6,000 milliamp hour batteries, extra ports, chargers, cooling fans, all this other shit. Are the cameras the most amazing thing on earth? No, but they're still good enough to where you can still enjoy them. All of that stuff. And someone still is going to have a problem with it.
Right.
Still.
Yeah.
And that's with in Asus and even Razer and everybody. They were giving people every single spec. They were giving you top of the line RAM, top of the line CPU, good designs, all this stuff. And we had people coming out, oh, well, you know, when you zoom in and you look at the 40 megapixel sensor, you can see the pixel bending in between. Oh my Jesus. Like what can you do with that point?
Well, I mean, I think you do have to point out the good, the bad, the ugly of a product. But at the end of the day, and this is what I talk about in my conclusion parts of most of my reviews, you know, and I talk about, hey, this phone is great for X, Y, and Z, and, you know, opportunities, maybe the camera, maybe this, maybe that, whatever, this, that, and other. But I think, you know, we got to call a product out for what it is. If it's listen, I critique Samsung devices more than anything. You know why? They're $1,700. I mean, every last bit of Samsung devices is going to get critiqued. It's because, listen, I don't do trade-ins, players. I buy my stuff like straight up. You know what I'm saying? So I don't trade it. I guess that's one of the reasons why I got 200 phones, because I don't give up.
Congregation pays well, y'all. The congregation pays well.
And so I tell you this much: when the Z Fold 4 come out, right? And listen, we already know everything, right? I believe that when the Z Fold 4 come out for $1,700, $1,800, when I buy that phone, I'm gonna pick it apart. And people ain't gonna like it. I always do. I pick it because I review a $1,700 phone totally different from a $300 phone. Yeah. Right? A lot of things you can excuse for a $300 phone. A lot of things I don't excuse on the $1,700 phone. I don't give a shit what people say. Well, easy. What you expect? I expect more. What you mean?
We expect the best.
I mean, right. You give me crappy cameras on the inside. Well, we don't use that. Well, why put the fucking cameras in there if you don't use it? That's my thing, right? I'll go talk about it. My thing is this. I review phones and product different based off a price point, right? I see a $400 phone. I excuse a few things here and there, right? I mean, you got to. You're not. Listen, that $400 phone is not the $1,700 phone. $1,700 phone is supposed to be the best of the best, right? If I'm paying $2,000 for a phone, you doggone right, I'm gonna critique it all the way to my mouth dry. I'm gonna critique it, right? But for a $400 phone, I mean, it looks good. It feels good in the hand.
We're doing this with phones, okay?
Oh,
Someone, please tell me who the fuck is outside of Ford right now protesting that they need Ferrari level quality in a goddamn Focus?
I was just about to say that, Trent. Like either thing, like
who's running, who's chasing somebody down right now? No, man, get that little car, get that beater car. Hey, man, you need this flagship car, yo. You need the best of the best engine. You need the best tires.
Yeah,
like,
I mean, you can say the same thing about like maybe I'll use a Tesla for example. You're not going to review a Tesla Model 3 the same way you review a Tesla Model S. Those are two completely different cars for completely different audiences at completely different price points. You don't review those the same. And the same thing with phones, like Ethan said. You're not going to review a budget phone the same way you're going to review a flagship phone. It's not. You're not going to do that.
It's like going to McDonald's and being like, yo, man, your burgers, they not the level of Five Guys. And you're like, well, Five Guys burger goes anywhere between like 10 or $15. Yeah, but I want this burger for $2.99 and it better be as good as theirs.
Yeah.
Well, you're not our type of customer like that. You're not the right customer for us. And if you want that, you're either going to have to pay more or go somewhere else. Yeah. Google's not holding anyone down and saying, you're going to buy this fucking phone. You don't have no other option. There's plenty of options.
Oh, yeah. Especially on Android. God, yeah.
Oh, God. Yeah,
it's plenty.
But that's the thing, Trent and Eric. There are so many different options out there at so many different price points that even if you're like the hardcore tech nerd, you can find what you want if you're willing to pay for it. And just because a budget phone doesn't have what you want doesn't mean you got to get all in your feelings. Just go buy the phone that you want.
Yeah, it's
if you're on Android. I mean, there's like hundreds of Androids out there.
And the difference is, we talk about this, right? The difference is that you have reviewers, right? Our job is to review the device, talk about the good, the bad, the ugly, the pros and cons. Okay, that's what we're supposed to do. So yes, you will have some opportunities with everything that you review. And of course, everything's not perfect. So if I'm reviewing a phone, but the review becomes a little different at the price point plays a totally different aspect in the review, right? If I got a Ford Focus out there, I'm not going to review that car the same way I do a Lexus, right? I mean, that's two different. I mean, you can't review it the same because you know that $5,000 brand new MSRP car is not going to be the same quality as that $50,000 car at MSRP. Of course not. So when we review product, I just look at things differently. And listen, I understand people the frustrations and want Google to do better. And listen, I think some of that has good merit. I think that we need to push Google to do better. That's nothing wrong with that. We need to push Google to do better, right? Better rollouts, better operating system, better fingerprint scanner, better this, better. We need to do that. So in some ways, I believe that we are pushing the needle for Google to be better. But when we talk about a $400 phone, I don't know, man. It's just a little different when it comes down to the mid-range budget, the type of devices. Now, I know somebody posted that why would they make a device where you could get the flagship $50 more? It's because that's the trend. That's what they're supposed to do. You got to make money, baby. This is business. This is chess, not checkers. These people won't make money. Man, listen, if you own a business like I do, right? I'm not saying people don't own business. I own multiple businesses. I'm in business to make money, player. I mean, shit.
That's how everything is, though. There are pricing tiers, and
Yes.
Here's how companies get you to spend more money. And I'm guilty of this because sometimes I've done it and my girlfriend has literally had to like look at me dead in the face, like, no, just stop here. There's always a better deal, right?
Mhm.
There's always a little bit more you can get. There's always this and that, whatever. Same thing with cars. So you get your base model, right? And the base model costs X amount of dollars. But if you get the next higher tier, you get the next package, you get the upgrade, it's only X amount of dollars more. And notice when people say it's only that much more, because you're like, you know what? I'm already spending so much money. I could spend a little more. But you originally came, like when you walked into the store, you said, all I want to do is pay $450 because when I add in tax and all and everything else, it's gonna be like 500 when I walk out the door. But no, got to get a better deal, get better performance and all that stuff. So then you move up to the next model, and you're like, all right, I should be cool or whatever. But guess what? There's another model after that. You can't just settle for the next model up base model. No, you got to spend a little bit more. You got to get something with 256 gigs and you got to get this stuff. And then you have that conversation again. Well, since you're already spending $600, $700, you might as well just get this $800 phone. You're already spending the money. What's another $100? And easily people, and I've seen this in stores, people easily get walked up from spending $450 to $500 to spending almost $800 because of the deal or the value, or and then people end up buying shit that they didn't even need. Like if you're looking at a 4A, you really don't need much to begin with. Like you really don't care about expansion and all that stuff. I know people still walking around. My dad, okay, because I told everybody this on Twitter. My dad was using, I don't even know what the Samsung phone was. It was a 13-year-old Samsung phone. That's how much he didn't need shit as far as the phone was concerned. And the only reason why he got rid of it was because it literally died. Like there was nothing else you could do to it. 13-year-old Samsung phone. And we went looking for phones and he only wanted to spend X amount of dollars, and then it was a choice. It was like, okay, you can go get a brand new Samsung whatever for $400, or you can go buy an old flagship, make your decision. And he ended up deciding to go get an old flagship off of eBay, which is this is going to feed into everybody else's point, but he didn't have like the insurance, he didn't have all this other stuff that you get with a brand new phone. So he was just like, well, I guess I'll just take a shot on this. If this doesn't work out, I'll go get a brand new phone at this price and get the warranty and all that. But that's like the pros and cons to it, because everybody's talking about, well, just go get this and get that, but you're not talking about the pros and cons. If you go get a used phone, okay, you don't know how well someone took care of that phone. Are you going to go get it refurbished from an actual store where there's something on it, or are you going to take a chance on eBay? You're going to take a chance on Swappa. Do you want insurance on it? Well, you're not going to be able to really get insurance on it if it's already used. So there's all these things that you have to talk about, but people don't. They just pick one thing and they're just like, oh, well, screw that. And I'm like, well, what about the flip side of that conversation?
Yeah. I know one of the things that I do is when I go around people and I show off my Z Fold and I flip it open, they love it. Oh, they absolutely love it. But it's not an Apple. That I always hit when the Apple will come out with one. They wouldn't buy with a 10-foot pole. And then when you tell them, they ask you, the question always come up, how much does it cost? I say, well, after you buy the case, tax, about $1,800. So I never paid $1,800 for no phone. I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do it. And I look at it like, a lot of people always wait for Apple to do things because that's the trend, right? The teenagers. Look, when my daughter was in high school, when I used to go to functions and stuff, you look at the audience because I'm always looking at the audience to see who's got what. I ain't seen no Android phones. Everybody had iPhones, right? I'm the only dummy in there.
let me jump in real quick. Put Mim's comment up there about
Oh,
Apple ain't pricing their lowest tier phone. That's because Apple's a fucking monopoly.
oh
Apple has a
yeah.
product that you can't get from anywhere else, so they can afford to spread their shit out. But if you're an Android phone, you got to compete against all the other Android shit.
Apple
Like Apple
Apple
can literally
can
do
price
whatever the fuck they
whatever.
want to
Right.
because no one else can sell their shit.
They sell $1,000 wheels for Christ's sakes. I mean, come on now. Don't they sell $1,000 wheels? I mean, they sell a towel for $25 for Christ's sakes, right? I mean, come on now. I mean, the Apple could put shit on a stick and sell it for $50 and you'll have a line wrapped around a corner trying to buy it. I mean, it is what it is. The Apple has the Apple's different, man. I mean, listen, Apple and Android is different. I always look at it like this. You cannot ever put Android against Apple. Apple does what they want. Android cannot do that. They have too much competition. They can't do that. I mean, listen, you know how much marketing money Samsung have to pay into the billions of dollars to pay for marketing? Right? These other companies ain't paying for that type of marketing. I mean, you think look at OnePlus and Call Pi, they're not paying billions of dollars to come into the United States to try to sell a phone. They're not doing that.
In looking at it from a business aspect, and like, look, I want everybody to know we all cool. I'm not trying to be combative with nobody about this. It's just, we're all, expressing our own opinions and stuff. But like, Mims, if I came to your shop for you to work on my car and you quoted me to, do this work on this car, and I said, hey, yo, Joe, whoever down the block that nobody knows will do it for 150, you quoting me 850. You'll look at me dead in the face. We'll be like, go down to Joe down the block because y'all got y'all business, y'all got y'all prices that work for you in your business, and you know what you do with your product. And at a certain point, you got to say that. You just be like, all right, hey, if you want something different, okay. Or you have to see on paper, like, okay, do our customers, do the people who will buy our phones, are we really going to lose people if we don't have this feature? If they are losing people, then Google needs to turn around and do it. But like every business is different, and as much as we try to equalize things, because naturally you want to do that as a tech reviewer, in some spots you can't. Like, it's just some things that they're just not going to line up. They're just not.
We in the United States, it's rough for us because we don't have the luxury of having the Oppos, the Xiaomis, the Huawei's, those type of devices that's overseas. In the United States, AT&T whitelists all those devices. So if you're on AT&T with the millions and millions of people on AT&T, can't put SIM cards in none of these overseas phones. Verizon Wireless you can't even put them on Verizon Wireless. If you're on like a T-Mobile cool with it, if it have voice over LTE, it's all right. That's one of the disadvantages that we have here in the United States. You got two major players, Samsung and Apple. It's bad. I don't like it. Trust me, I hate it. Right? We got Motorola sprinkled down in there, got great devices. They don't get the coverage. One of the reasons why is because they're not paying people. They don't drop the briefcase. So that's one of the reasons why they don't get the full coverage that they get, right? But I mean, you got other devices out there. I mean, you got blue phones out there, right? They ain't never paying for nobody to review their devices. But I'm just saying, you in the United States, it's rough for us because either you go with the flagship or you go with the 8 device. Now we got Google, another player that's in the United States. And I think Google, and listen, I think when people critiquing it, if you outside the United States, you living pretty. You got options, more options than we have in the United States, right? You guys have, I mean, you literally have the best of both worlds. You got, the Apples, you got the all the Android, the Xiaomi's, everything is available for you overseas, UK and stuff like that. But in the United States, if you go to a carrier, just walk into AT&T, what do you see? Samsung over here, Apple gonna be over here. You're gonna have Motorola sprinkled way in the back somewhere, right? LG was way by the toilet when I used to walk in the AT&T store, right? I mean, it's way back there. What the salesman walk up and say, hey, we got to buy one, get one free. All you got to do is add a line, you know? And guess what? They walk out with an iPhone because, listen, they got incentives. If the more iPhone they sell, they get bonuses and stuff. You know what I'm saying? They got all kinds of stuff they got going on in the carriers.
Time out. You just said that Motorola don't get the coverage because they don't pay nobody. Hold on. The last time I checked, Apple and Samsung and Google are not paying people to review their phones, my dude.
I know. I'm just saying, like,
the reason why Motorola not getting the coverage is because Motorola hasn't been relevant since 2011.
but Motorola does have good devices. I mean,
They
do
do.
devices
I
that just came out. They relevant. You know why they not? It's because they don't get the adequate coverage. Think about it. They can go up to the big dog. They can compete with the big dog today. They can. The Motorola cameras, the operating system, stock Android that's on those phones, and everything that Motorola is doing with ready for DeX-like competition, right?
Motorola used to be the big dog in Android. What happened to them?
They ain't marketing. They don't want to spend billions of dollars in marketing. That's
exactly.
Go ahead, Trent.
Exactly, like Easy saying, okay, what company, any company, yeah, you know, Google's massive and, you know, stock and money, they got a bunch of money, they got YouTube and they got all this stuff. However, what company alive outside of a political party wants to spend the amount of money that Samsung and Apple are spending on marketing?
None of them.
Like who really. We're not talking about development. We're not talking about marketing, advertising, having your name out there, being in the stores, reserving out certain spots that are 100% yours, and all this.
Being on a Super Bowl.
I don't want
Super Bowl coverage. Yeah.
Like real quick, even when I look at other creators, because a lot of times they'll do like interviews and all this stuff. And on the podcast, and they're like, yeah, you know, I'm spending $15,000 a month on production and doing this and doing that. Even though I would want the income that they're making, I don't want their expenses. I'm perfectly fine with, like, you know what? I really didn't spend shit on this video. I got 10,000 views. I can live with that. Like, you know, and that's the same thing with business. Like, no one else wants to spend that money. And if they're spending that money, they want a return on it. Google, and I know this is going to sound like a defense, but whatever. Google used to not market, and people used to not care, and people used to still trash them. And it was actually kind of funny because I was one of those people. Now, Google started doing stuff. Google started marketing because we all cried and complained about how Google should market. And then we all cried and complained about how Google should have a phone that looks like a flagship. We all complained about how we don't see any commercials or this or that. These motherfuckers walked out there and said, all right, we're going to go partner with the NBA. We're going to go get one of the best players in the NBA to sign up to use a Pixel. Okay? Yeah. And that dude was getting roasted. Giannis actually had a column where he was like, he was getting roasted because he was using an Android phone in a group with the team that was all using iPhones, but he still, you know, stuck it out with the Google phone. So I'm not gonna say that Google can't do better, but I can't say that they're not trying to get something going. Right. But at the same time, okay, let's put the 120 hertz on the phone. Let's put the 120 hertz on all three phones next year. What's going to be the issue? Battery life.
Oh, yeah. Battery life will get hit.
It's a 6.1 inch phone. It's got like I think the battery's like 4,600 milliamp hours or less. What did everybody tear apart on the Samsung S22 that had the 8th gen chip in it? The 8th gen chip that was supposed to be better or whatever. What do they tear apart? They tear apart the battery life.
Yeah. The Z Fold 3 battery life is worse than my Z Fold 2. I actually went back to the Z Fold 2 because, you know, the battery life is a whole lot better than the Z Fold 3. I always been saying that the Z Fold 2 is a better foldable than the Z Fold 3. I've been talking about that for a while. And so when they come down to battery life, listen, the bottom line is the Galaxy 22 Ultra, S22 Ultra battery life is not that great. The Z Fold 3 battery life is not that great.
The Z Flip.
The
Z
Z
Flip
Flip
God, no.
got
battery life.
massacred.
3 hours of screen on time. Tops.
And this is something that's new, right? Because everybody wants something new.
Yeah.
Everybody wants something that's not boring. Everybody wants something that's innovative and crazy. Show us something new, whatever. Has 120 hertz, right? They had to split the battery. They could only fit so much battery in there. Had 120 hertz. My Z Flip dies in 2.5 hours. I fucking hate this.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's say they came out with it with 60 hertz. Well, why you have 60 hertz on $1,000 phone? It's, you know, like at a certain point, you have to look at stuff and say, okay, there's going to be a trade-off.
Yes.
Okay. Is the trade-off so awful that no one can purchase this phone? And that's the issue, is that people are taking 60 hertz and they're saying that simply because it has 60 hertz, it's not worth existing. And that's the issue that I take. Now, I don't have a problem with anybody that wants 90 hertz or 120 hertz. I don't have that issue. But the people that are literally running around saying that you should never put this phone in anyone's hands simply because it has 60 hertz, it's just asinine. It's just that's just dumb. Like,
at the end of the day, everything out there is going to have a compromise. There's always going to be something that could be added or something that's not there. At that point, it's up to you as the buyer to do your research and figure out what is the best product that is out there that exists today that meets your wants and needs, and go buy that product. And whatever product that doesn't have it or doesn't meet your wants and needs, then that's what you leave it on the shelf and walk by and keep going. This whole crazy toxicity and bloviating about stuff that doesn't meet your criteria is ridiculous. There's a lot of things in the world that will not meet your criteria. Are you going to bloviate about that too? Are you going to bitch about that on Twitter too? No, you're not doing that. I don't know why this is such a big thing in tech. Like, I don't hear about this stuff in any other niche or whatever. Maybe that's just because I'm not in those spaces to hear it. But when it comes to tech, people get real passionate about stuff that is not there or stuff that they feel like should be added, when in actuality, it's available to them. You can buy it and be done with it. I mean, I remember people got mad at me back when the iPhone first got 120 hertz, and I was like, it's not important. If you want, I remember what I said. I said, if you want a 120 hertz display, go buy an Android. And everybody goes, no, you can't say that, Piper. You can't say that. We want it on iPhone. Like, listen, if you want a 120 hertz display that badly, they're out there on Android. You're not going to have it. We've never had it on iPhone. Why is it a problem?
Most people only want 120 hertz so Twitter can smooth scroll.
You're right.
And it still don't
I have
smooth,
yet.
It don't smooth scroll.
I have yet to see anybody on Twitter run to Twitter because they can't play their game in 120 hertz on their phone. Not a I haven't seen it, and I've been in a lot of fuckboy conversations and shit like that.
You know why? Because they don't know that the game is not running at 120 hertz. That's why.
But what do I see? The iPad Mini has 60 hertz and it has jelly scrolling. When I'm scrolling through my feed, it looks like jelly. You're worried about a feed. So you need 120 hertz so it can be like, okay, like, fuck, really? That's what's killing you. Okay, that's what's killing you is I don't know anymore. I don't get it. Like, what the fuck?
I just think that the 60 hertz,
the
60 hertz is a not. I just didn't think.
Is that not smooth enough? Is that
Hey, can you do
oh
me a
my
favor,
god,
Trenton?
I'm dying. Look
Trenton,
at me.
Can you do me a favor, Trenton? Can you use the finger presenter like on camera? I want to see if it actually working. It's not working at all.
Oh, I don't have it set up. Now, if we want to talk about criticisms,
You got that
yes. I personally do not. Now, here's the funny thing. I personally do not like the fingerprint sensor on this device. However, that's me. There's other people out there that don't care and don't have an issue. So if I run, because I did this, last year when I ran to Twitter and I was like, this fingerprint sucks. And everybody jumped down my throat like, no, you're just fucking hating on Google. I'm like, Team Pixel? What? I'm just like, I don't think the fingerprint sensor is good, but there's a bunch of people out there who have never used the ultrasonic fingerprint sensor. They don't care to use the ultrasonic fingerprint sensor. They're never going to buy a phone that's over $600 anyway. So it's like whatever.
But you think, but that brings up a good question. You have a lot of people that's criticized the devices that would never intended to buy it in the first place.
Right.
But never, yeah, they ain't spending that. They're not.
Why? Like, why are you criticizing something that you don't own or don't plan to own?
They don't plan to buy it.
No, you're not buying it. What do you care for?
That's what I understand. Like but that happens a lot. They're coming your comments.
It is easy. People like to make noise. That's all. They like to make noise and they want to be heard, bro.
but when they come to the Tech Preacher, channel, I kind of dig up all, I kind of get it. I go off a little bit on them, and then
you got to get them, man.
You gotta be ready. Gotta be ready.
Somebody was asking me earlier, was all this spurned by Marquez? I don't know. I haven't watched it for view because I tend not to.
No, it wasn't spurned by Marquez because
no,
I don't even disagree with Marquez's video. Nowhere in that video did he say that the phone was not worth it, not to pick it up. The only thing that he said was that since he was coming from phones that 120 hertz, this is what he noticed,
a little slow,
and this is some stuff that you may notice or you may not notice. But there were literally other videos out there that said, "Don't buy the Pixel 6a," and they're like 17, 18-minute long videos, and then you watch the video, and for almost 10 minutes in the video, they are literally naming out all the good shit about the phone, but then get to the end and say, well, it's not really for me. I really would go with this. I don't think you should buy it. End of the video. And I'm like, that's like a real.
I didn't have a problem with MKBHD video. Matter of fact, I actually enjoyed watching it. I mean, did you see the beginning B-roll? I'm trying to do something like that. Oh my God. Lord, you think I'm trying to B-roll. I'm trying to see how I can do my slider to do something like that. Man, that was freaking awesome. The time and energy to put in a video like that. Oh my God.
Now, if everybody thinks MKBHD was hating, do you think he really would have dedicated all that time and energy to that super fucking convoluted robot shot that no one else can pull off?
Bruh, that right there, I'm gonna tell you, man. Oh my goodness, man. That y'all don't understand. When I see, I do a lot of production stuff and B-rolls and stuff like that. I go out and buy 5 sliders to do stuff like with MKBHD. I don't care. I got my top down shot. It's on a slider. So I have a slider on my top down that goes from left to right and up and down and all that stuff like that. That's my top down shot. So to see the first 30 seconds of that video, I don't even care about the rest of the video. I'm like, God, yes.
But yeah,
wow.
I have not watched MKBHD videos. I don't know what he said about the phone, but the thing that got me about last year when he criticized the Pixel 6 and 6 Pro and people got on his case, they thought he was trying to bury Google. I'm like, bro, do you not know that man is an avid Pixel lover? He loves the Google Pixel. Why would he try to bury them? Like, what do y'all didn't do your homework on that, man? But
it was a great video. I like it. Listen, that's his.
No doubt.
He had value points. He critique it like he's supposed to. He talk about the good, the bad, the ugly. You got to remember this guy get every device on the planet. Oh, yeah. So it ain't like, I mean, he got various experiences on devices. And listen, he talked about it. And again, it's his opinion. That's what I understand. You get the phone. If you don't like what he said, buy the phone and use it for yourself, player. That's it. It's so simple. If you don't like what people saying about the Pixel 6a, the phone come out next week. Go ahead on to drop the cash and use it for yourself. Use your 14-day return period and return it if you don't like it.
I am glad you said that because this applies a lot to movies. Like a lot of times there's a movie that I'm excited about, but the critic will slam the movie. I'm like, I don't give a damn what a critic does. I want to go see the movie. I'm going to see the movie. I don't care if they slam it or not. And that's the same way with phones and tech reviewers. If your favorite tech reviewer or a tech reviewer that you have a lot of respect for doesn't like the phone that you were excited about, that's just one person. This is why I tell y'all all the time, don't just watch one person when you're doing research on a product. Watch like 4 or 5 different videos, 4 or 5 different creators, and get multiple perspectives on a product before you go out there and buy it. Then you can get the whole picture of what that product can and can't do. Because I'm not going to cover a phone the same way that Easy's going to cover a phone. Easy's not going to cover a phone the same way that Trent's going to cover a phone. We're all going to cover it differently. So you should watch all of our content if you're going to make a purchasing decision about a device.
Did you do you see that link that I put in the back chat?
Yeah. Yep. I thought. Yep.
I wish somebody would have like retweeted the hell out of that like they did my other tweets earlier. But I'm like, all right, let's be real. Let's say you have to go buy a phone for your mom, your dad, your uncle, brother, sister, son, daughter, whatever. Okay. Are you buying a Xiaomi for them? If you had to choose between the two, Xiaomi, you know, the one that's supposed to be so much better than the Pixel, are you going to go buy a Pixel or a Xiaomi one? I know a handful of people who are probably tech people said yes. Guess what everybody else said? No. And then I even put a part where people are like, what's your Xiaomi? Because they don't know. They don't know what that is.
And 19% put what is a Xiaomi?
And I'm sorry, when I don't know how everybody else is living. Maybe everybody else is living so much better than me where they can just take money and risk it on stuff and try out and just say whatever. But a lot of people in the US under a certain price point are like, look, if I'm going to put my money into something, I want to put my money into something I know. It is very hard to get somebody who doesn't know about something to get them to put their money into something that they don't know.
Yeah. Yep.
Now, you can have people that don't know about tech, but they know Apple. So they're like, okay, I'm willing to fuck with Apple. Yeah, a lot of people that don't know about tech, but they know Samsung. So they're willing to mess with them. But if you say as Xiaomi, random me, red, blue, green, purple, whatever 18 character long name that they have for stuff, and you're like, hey, go give these people $400. And you're like, well, I'm gonna need you to explain that a little bit more,
Yeah,
it's kind of hard.
If you look at, if you make when you talk about phones like Xiaomi, right, to import that device, through eBay, through third-party sources, right, you might up a tier to $700, $800, $900. That's a hard pill to swallow. You got to put your credit card online for a device that you ain't never saw. If you go on majority of tech YouTube, you don't see that device on nobody channel. You know what I'm saying? So it's very difficult for a person to spend $900 on a phone to import it to the United States that will not work on AT&T, will not work on Verizon Wireless. It's a very difficult pill to swallow when you're looking at the majority of the in the United States is on two big major carriers that you cannot use that device on. That brings up red flags to a lot of people. Say, well, wait a minute, I can't use this phone on Verizon. I can't use it on AT&T. I'm not on T-Mobile, so I can't even. If I'm buying this $900 phone, I'm using it on Wi-Fi only. It's a paperweight.
Yeah. Nobody bought a phone to use on Wi-Fi.
Not really. I mean, that's what you go use it on. And then listen, man. We got to be careful about T-Mobile too. Now, yeah, we hip hooray about T-Mobile accepting international devices, but when the day come when T-Mobile say, you know what, AT&T been getting away with it for a long time, and Verizon don't allow them on their network. Why don't we just cut the fat and not accept international devices on our network? Then we gonna be screwed.
But here's another point. And we'll bring this up because something else nobody talks about. Okay. Yeah, you have all these phones overseas that, cost a certain amount of dollars. They don't have to get the certification to be on our networks. When you have phones that have to get certified to be on Verizon, AT&T, T-Mobile, that costs money.
A lot of money. I think nothing was going through that too. They had to get certified. I think AT&T wanted millions of dollars of certification money or something like that for them to get certified on their network. And they had to be tested. So that means that the device had to go through rigorous testing through AT&T, and I think Verizon had to go through the same thing. So they got to go through testing and rigorous testing and all that stuff like that before you even get accepted to go on the network.
Even OnePlus, like what happened to OnePlus? Like, I think it was last year or the year before last. They were on both T-Mobile and Verizon. Nah, I know they're not on Verizon anymore. I don't even know if they're on T-Mobile anymore. Are they still on T-Mobile?
I think they still kind of sprinkling on T-Mobile.
They didn't sell,
and they didn't sell.
This is what happened. OnePlus, like I said, OnePlus was giving everything to everybody. It was giving everything to everybody for cheap runaway prices or whatever. However, once you start joining T-Mobile, AT&T, and all these other places, you got to perform and you got to sell. And I remember this. They came out with the OnePlus 8. What's wrong with the OnePlus 8? The camera, it sucks. Oh my God, the OnePlus. You know, everybody was just dragging it down the street, letting it out to hang out to dry. Then they came with the OnePlus 9 Pro and the OnePlus 9. It's too expensive. You might as well get this. You might as well get that. Blah, 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 whatever. Came out with the OnePlus 10 Pro. Oh, jerry-rig everything, broke it in half. I don't care about that phone. Yada, yada, whatever. And people are going to fucking LG the OnePlus just like they did with LG. They're going to talk shit about the phone, say it's too expensive. You can get something else. And when the company goes away, everyone's going to come out running. Oh, my God, it's so sad. I'm going to miss you guys.
Yeah.
Let
me tell you, I talked about LG for years. I saw it coming. I was talking about LG way back in 2017, 2016. I said, listen, man, LG if they don't get themselves together, man, they getting slammed out there in the tech YouTube market, man. I mean, they was getting slammed for years, man. And then we heard that they were losing billions of dollars in their mobile department and they couldn't recover. They can't sell phones. And then when they came out with the LG Wing, you walk into AT&T, they had the LG Wing way by the toilets. I mean, they couldn't sell that phone.
What he told us, yo.
I'm telling you, man, it saddened me. When I walked into AT&T, it was way in the back by the toilets. It wasn't in the front and Showtime. It wasn't that where you walk in there, you got all these spectacular stuff going on. You got the salespeople saying, hey, how you doing? Welcome to AT&T. What can I get you for you today? I want the LG Wing. Oh, the LG Wing way back there. It's by the men's room. You know, I mean, you know, and God forbid, you're talking about the most innovative device that came out in 2020 with the LG Wing. I got two of them. I know. I bought two LG Wings because I did not want to miss that innovation. And to this day, running Android 12, running like a charm, LG Wings is still one of my best innovative devices right now.
Okay. Yo, the LG Wing was legit, man.
Man.
And I had fun with that one when they sent it to me. That was some good stuff.
Great. But it goes back to, it don't matter how good a phone is. It all depends on the marketing. And listen, Apple can sell you last year's processors and their new up and coming phones, and they go market it like it's no tomorrow, and people go buy it. They go buy it. And that's the key to marketing, because marketing, it gets that visualized. You got a chick in the background or somebody doing something that is so spectacular. Got the cameras moving all over the place and all this marketing and all this stuff like that. It makes you believe that the phone is just that good, because every time you turn it on TV, you see a commercial. Every time you go on the internet, you see a commercial. Every time you turn on YouTube and watch a video, you get a commercial. So the mind believes that this phone has to be good. It has to be good because
the marketing is strong, especially in the U.S. Marketing plays a very big role in how consumers feel about a device and whether or not they are aware of it, how they feel about it in terms of buying it and different things like that. And that was one of my biggest problems with LG back in those days, man. They weren't doing no marketing. There was no marketing at all. And the little marketing that they did was almost like, where are you?
Yeah, I used to hit LG because I used to make a lot of videos about. I still make videos about LG phones today. And I mean, I used to hit them up, man. The emails, man. I used to complain about this a lot. I mean, y'all need to get up off y'all ass, man. Go look at what D Brand is doing. Look at what Wendy's Hamburgers was doing on Twitter. I mean, they are out there just going crazy, just marketing themselves, being controversy and all that, trying to get eyeballs on them. I mean, they doing everything to keep them relevant. But what happened? LG LG didn't even tell nobody that they had pin support on their devices. I learned that the device had pin support just by reviewing it. I'm like, wait, this thing got pin support? Never knew it. They didn't market it. They didn't market about the desktop mode. They didn't market about a lot of aspects of the device. How are we supposed to know how good your phone is when you don't tell us? And they learned the hard way, by the way.
I think a lot of people are talking about how much marketing Apple does. I don't know. Apple does as much marketing as we think they do. They don't have to.
They don't have to.
Like we do the marketing for them more or less.
Yeah. I mean, look, you think about the marketing that we do as content creators for companies. I mean, they love this. Look, if you didn't think that Google went good or bad, they love it because bad marketing is still good marketing for them. So they don't care either way, right? And you got companies like Samsung, Apple. Listen, you wait till August 10th, right? The day of the keynote address for the Z Fold 4, the Galaxy Z Fold, right?
Yep.
You're going to see that they're going to pour in a lot of money for marketing on those days. That week, that's going to be heavy marketing.
Oh, yeah.
Right? And if you notice, Samsung and those when Apple keynote addresses, what they do, they'll draw out another color. Or they'll try to redirect people from Apple. They do that. They do that every year. They'll draw out a new color Galaxy phone, or they'll do a big sale on the day of Apple release or they keynote address or something like that. You know what? It's all good fun. But but LG and Motorola, they don't do nothing like that. I think they just complacent of dropping a good phone, putting it in Best Buy, and be done with it.
Yeah. If you want to compete against Apple and Samsung, you gotta up your marketing game. You gotta get your marketing in place, especially in the carrier stores. I mean, because that's where most of the people in the U.S. that's where they're buying their phones. They're buying their phone from the carrier store. So if you can't get your foot in the carrier store like up in people's faces, then it's gonna be a hard sell. But
and not only you got to get them up in their faces, you have to get these carriers to push it. You got to get with the sales reps. You got to say, hey, listen, I know you want Samsung and Apple, but they got this device over here that's really good and you can get it at a really decent price. And let me show you some features of this phone. See, salespeople ain't going to do nothing like that. You walk into AT&T, Verizon, they just want to get you in and out. They don't care. They ain't going to show you no features.
Yeah, they're all, if you walk into a carrier store today, basically Apple or Samsung, and that's pretty much it. And they're not showing you anything else. They're not
showing nothing else.
No, not at all. But on that note, I think we've had a good chat tonight. I appreciate Trenton and the Tech Preach making a rare appearance, man. I appreciate you coming up here, my dude.
Oh man, it's all fun. I'm about to go on somebody else's chat and have some fun, man.
Going back at the end.
I figure that
I got some dad duties to attend to.
I figure I might as well go from stream to stream tonight, and I might just do my work tomorrow.
That's right, man. And that's right. Enjoy the company of your fellow creators, my dude. Definitely.
For sure, man. I appreciate you.
Hey, I appreciate y'all rocking out with me tonight. Thank you for being here. You know your boy Viper will be back here next Friday night for another edition of Friday Night Vibe. Until next time, we are out of here. Have a great weekend. Be kind. Be safe out there. And calm the hot take down, y'all. Calm the hot take down. It is okay. It's okay. Everything ain't meant to be for you. It's all right. It's all right. Peace.